Can you dig any deeper now? I gave you all I own, put you on this golden throne, but I'm a little stronger now. You cashed in on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out, 'cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now. You cashed in on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out, 'cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. 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 You cashed in on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out, 'cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now. Casting on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Late Night with BMR. Saturday, well, typically Sunday now. It depends where you are. Where I'm at, it's midnight in the east, 11 o'clock central. Wherever you are, well, frankly, you know what time it is. Time for another show. A great show in store for you tonight. Of course, I'm always joined by my lovelies. Tonight, as always, I have Brandy from the Blondes and the Booze Paranormal Podcast. Please subscribe if you're new. Monica Rollins from Our Paranormal World joins me as well. Please subscribe to Monica if not already. And of course, Texas Front Porch. Good old Tex. Check him out. We're all on YouTube. Thanks for coming on in. I do appreciate it for taking your time out. As usual, I had one heck of a day today. Fabulous day. I'll get into that in a minute. First things first is I got to thank everybody that has bought my first book, Bigfoot Mystery Rob Presents True Encounters, Book 1. Of course, found on Amazon. Just type in BMR, Bigfoot Mystery Rob, on your Amazon browser, and it will pull up. But I must say, my second book has come out about 3 weeks now. It's my second book, Bigfoot Mystery Rob Presents True Cryptid Encounters, Book 2. That's right. Book 2 is now available. It's been available for 3 weeks, as I said. Thank you for that. And I must say, for people that bought 1, thank you. If you're buying 2, thank you. Leave a review when Amazon comes calling, or you know what? If you have the gumption, you can just look it up and type in and leave a review, because it does promote book sales. So thank you so much for that. Again, we have a great show, and I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm going to bring them up. I'm going to bring up Brandy, making sure she's ready from the Blondes and the Booze. Hello, Brandy.
Hey there.
Good to see you. Good to see you. What's that say? Local or L what? What's that say? Your hat?
It's local. It's got Missouri. It's the Missouri state right here, and it says local. Local Missouri.
Well, what I love about you and Monica is you both like wearing hats. I like women that wear hats. Hi, Monica.
Hello.
And what does yours say, Monica? What does your hat say? It says,
something a
it's
grand
always great.
adventure.
Wait, it says this is always an adventure on Rob's show. Very nice. Thank you.
Mhm. That's right. That is right.
You know,
Put my glasses tonight too, so I can read.
well, you look fine. You both look great. I look okay, I guess. I'm matching my Lions headgear with my newer blue shirt. And I got to tell you, today was a great day. I'm going to get on with this because there's 37 piling in chat. And, you know, this show, yes, we do talk about our serious stuff. We'll talk some cryptids. We got a nice show planned for you tonight. But this show being the Saturday show, I do 2 serious shows, Thursday and Tuesday, Thursday. Saturday is kind of, you know, we're a little more personal. We have a lot of fun. And we talk about important things as well. So today, though, I got to tell you guys, and for everybody listening now, for the people that are not sports fans, you're probably not going to be too happy, but don't change the dial. Don't go nowhere. I'm going to tell you a little about my goings on today. It was my 31st fantasy football draft. 31 straight years, you guys. I've never done a Saturday night show until like starting up. Like we started doing this show maybe 3 months ago, and I was like, you know, all ready for the draft, and I'm like, oh my god, I got a show on Saturday. So for everybody listening, I'm just gonna flat out tell you, started the festivities at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and yes, libations were involved. The boys, I haven't seen these 12 guys. There's 12 guys. We've seen each other once a year for 12 years. And it's not just a draft. And this is not all sports. It's kind of, you know, the human element. A lot of the wives, the girlfriends, they dig it too. They get together. They put out a nice spread of food. The guys kick back. We just kick it. We draft. At the end of the draft, we make fun of each other's teams, you know, and do the, you know, things that guys do, saying your team sucks and your team's great, this, that, and the other. So we're sitting there, and my team, by the way, is fantastic, as always. And here's the thing. It was right around 9:30, girls, and I knew that I had the show tonight. I'm like, well, I know that Monica and Brandy will be on. And I knew that you guys would not have cared if I didn't come on. I get that because you guys are cool and you understand, you know, when guys get together. But, you know, Brandy, I was telling you backstage, Monica doesn't know as much. I've been doing this for 3 years. I've never missed a show. Thanksgiving, I take off because I have a show on Thursdays, but I cancel that on Thanksgiving. And the only other times I cancel a show is when my internet's out. I have no power. Other than that, I do the show because I feel like I have a responsibility to the audience and the people that tune in. And now that we're doing it, this show has become pretty successful. I'm like, well, yeah, the girls can do well, but I just felt that I got to be here. So for the first time in 31 years, I got my ass home by 10 o'clock, you know, and put on a pot of coffee, you know, to kind of, and I'm going to tell everybody I was drinking libations all day today. And I was making sure that was good. You know, I want to be sober enough for the show. So I'm kind of proud of that. But I do this for everybody listening because that's just what I do. And I appreciate my audience. So thank you for everybody for coming in. It's very appreciative. And we all, on all of our channels, we appreciate the loyalty and the love you guys show. So yeah, that was my day. It was a great day. People like, Rob, why are you leaving? I got things to do. I got a show to do. All right, see you later, jackass. And they're still partying now. I'm still getting text messages. Blah, 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 blah. Johnny just puked. Well, I'm past that. That's Johnny Puke, but that ain't me today. It's laughable 20 years ago. So that was my day. We're ready to do the show. We have a great show in store. So I'm gonna move over to Brandy. How's your day out there in Missouri?
Oh, my day has not been great. I went on a show with Paul from Paranormal Among Us, because Krista is on a little mini vacation, and like right in the beginning of the show, I was doing great, and then give me about 20 minutes in the show, and oh my gosh, I just started feeling sick, and I'm like, I've got to go. I told him, I said, I've got to break out of here. I said, my stomach isn't having any of this, and I've been sick ever since. So I have spent my night running back and forth to the bathroom, so I feel great. We just got a memo just yesterday from work. It said COVID is going around again. A lot of people are testing positive, talking about all the do's and don'ts, make sure you wash your hands, blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking, I hope I don't have it again. Right. I don't want it again. And I'm not feeling very well. It feels like I do have a fever right now, so I very well could have COVID again.
I hope you don't.
Yeah, me too. That was horrible the last time. I don't want it again.
I haven't gotten it. I'm lucky enough to have not gotten it.
Yeah, I'm with you too on that one, Monica. Knock on wood. I think I might have had it, but I don't know because I just don't go to the doctor except most guys don't, but I do make a habit of going for a physical once a year. My next one is in October. I just don't like going because I know my body's messed up, So,
I don't want to hear it.
You got to stop doing this and that, Rob. I'm like, yeah, okay. As I light up a cigarette and have a cocktail, yeah. So
yeah.
Thank you to Deborah Mueller. Became a BMR pirate. You too can become a BMR pirate today. Hit the join sign. What you get? Well, guess what you get? You get a picture of me, whether you want that or not, with my bandana next to your name in the chat room. Thanks to Deborah. And I seen another one really briefly. If I scroll up, Charles Centers. Well, thank you, Charles. He became a member. Awesome. Thank you so much. The Super Chat's open. A great way to support what we do. Memberships are awesome. Of course, not expected, but appreciated. Whatever donations you send our way throughout the week, the night, whatever. So, yeah, Monica, your day went how? You just was talking about little Brandy's episode. I don't know if you want to get into what happened to you today, but that's totally up to you. How'd your day go?
My day was stressful. We were at a friend's house, and my son almost drowned. And I had to jump in to get him, and he was panicking to the point he was pushing me under, where he could breathe at that point, but I couldn't. And he almost took me down, and then my husband had to jump in and pull him off of me because I had on pants I had on the wrong clothing to be jumping into a pool. And my pants, because I had these wide leg palazzo pants, and I just could not tread.
Now you say palazzo. I'm gathering they're relatively silky and baggy.
Yeah.
Type of material.
Yeah. And they were pulling me down, and when I was finally able to get my footing, they were down they literally weighted down. They were like between my hip and my knee. So I couldn't even kick my legs properly. So it was a mess. It was a mess. But everybody's okay. Everybody's okay.
Yeah, but when it comes to situations like that, your first instinct is just jump. You're a parent. You're going, that's my child, just jump. Mm-hmm. We don't let our training set in. Like, maybe you should have stopped and pulled your pants off. I don't care if they see me in my undies.
Yeah.
And then jump
in, They cared about anything at that point. Yeah. But I was just jumping, because everybody else in my mind was moving in slow motion, and I was like, I don't know what. And I just jumped in. Poor guy. I don't know if I jumped on top of him, but I jumped, as close to him as I could get. And then, because I do have, safety, lifeguard training to like, rescuing people, water training. And he was just freaking out so much, and I couldn't tread properly. So I was already in trouble from that. It was just a mess. It was just a mess.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm glad that, we saw it, because like I was telling Rob and Brandy, when people drown, 9 times out of 10, there's no sound. It's quiet. They go under, and they might come up and gasp, and then they go under again. And I could hear him thrashing, and I turned around and looked, and right when he went down, and then he popped back up and said, "Help me," and then went down again. And that's when I jumped into the pool.
Oh, I just couldn't imagine. I would have been in panic mode. As much as everybody would say, well, I would have done this or I would have done that, you're just in panic mode at that point. There's no thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just like, well, I'm here.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, and you make some great points, Monica, with this. And yes, I had junior life saving. I think it was one of my credits in 12th grade in high school. And when I was growing up, I remember that I was a baby up till I was either 12 months to 16 months, right, Monica? And I remember, I can remember a lot of things, and people like Rob, you don't remember that. I remember my Sunday school teacher's name all the way through grade school, middle school, high school, college. I know all my teachers all in a row. I know who they are. I know what they like for Christmas. I had a weird memory like that. And I remember that my dad threw me, because my mom and dad were first married. I was firstborn, of course, and I was a baby. I don't even know that I was 2 years old. I remember him throwing me in the swimming pool in the backyard.
Yeah, they used to do that to us.
And and my mom, I know, was like, my mom told me the story. I don't remember my mom at the time freaking out. She goes to my dad, "What the hell are you doing?" Because he threw me in, but he was serious. He wasn't laughing or making a joke. And I went in as a baby, basically, and I went under the water, and I was like underwater. And my mom tells me the story today, how she was crying and says, "What are you doing? Want to kill your son?" No. Watch. I'm here. I'll grab him. I'm within an arm's length away. And he waited and waited. And, he says that I made it to the top, but he grabbed me, because that was about, after that, I would have drowned, of course.
Sure.
And then, and I know a lot of parents do that back in they wouldn't do that today. If you did that today, you're getting
Right.
what's coming to your house, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it'd be abuse. But back in the day, that was accepted, or it was a practice that not many people did, though. I don't think today I'd throw my kid 12 months old into a pool, even if I was right by him. I just think that'd be kind of nuts. But long story short, yeah, I got through it. And then, so I remember I was a good swimmer. I was 5, 6 years old, great swimmer. I was an awesome swimmer. But Monica, to your point earlier, I remember about almost drowning one other time. We're at Camp Dearborn, and I'm in a swimming pool at Camp Dearborn. And I was probably your son's age. I was probably at least 80 pounds, not a big guy. And I was in the deep end. Again, I was a good swimmer, though. And I went to the bottom of this commercial pool in Camp Dearborn. And they had, in the commercial pools, they have all the vacuums were at the bottom. And there's a lot of suction at the bottom of the pools. And I remember seeing the vents. There's a grid, 12 by 12 grid at the bottom of the pool. And I'm swimming toward it to investigate. And I put my little hand, no bigger than, the mouse,
Right.
And boy, the suction was immense. And you know what? My hand stuck on it. And my finger got caught in it. And guess what? I didn't have the strength to pull my hand out. And at this point in my life, I remember, if no one helps me, I'm going to drown at the bottom of this pool, and nobody is going to know about it. Now, my brother was swimming nearby with a friend, and they swam to the bottom. Luckily, they saw me having troubles, and they all pulled out my hand. I made it to the top. And to this day, I don't stick my hands around any heavy duty vacuums, no matter if it's a pool or anything today, because I tell you what, I was pretty terrified when it happened. And I would have drowned weren't for my friend and my brother just being alert and seeing that I was in trouble.
Right. Because it's silent.
It's a silent death. Silent death drowning.
Mm-hmm.
But
Wow. That is, I hate to hear that. I just hate to hear it because it's like it's so scary. It's so scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Monica knows today that she had a scare today, and as parents with your young children, it's a scary thing. It's
got to be alert.
Monica, I'm glad that you were able. I'm glad you caught it. That's all I have to say on that one, because it's not a good feeling.
No, it's not. I mean, it's I don't. No more. Like one kid's enough. I don't want another one,
And again, I don't even want to say that, Mike, because I don't want to bring that up. But again, to your point, yes, absolutely. And so I'm glad everything's well.
Yeah,
Brandy, I'm glad you're well. I'm glad that I'm feeling okay, because man, I didn't know if I was gonna make it, but I made it. Yeah,
you're a professional, Rob. We knew you'd make it.
I do the best I can. Thanks to everybody for coming on. And if I don't say hi to you, don't mean I don't love you. Thanks to everybody listening that's not in the chat room, because you're as important as people in chat, as I always like to say, because you make up the bulk of the views, to be honest. And thank you for that. Who's listening tomorrow. So you guys, Monica, you kind of have an idea. Today's show, Monica's going to talk a little later about, I like the fairies, the Faye, the Elementals. I did a story with Brandy Thursday. I'm not going to do that today because I just don't want to do it again. But yeah, and then Brandy, whatever you come up with. But I will start the show first so Monica can dwell, because I like to put the girls on the spot, everybody. Right before the show, hey, Monica, I want you to talk about this. Brandy this, Krista that, blah, blah, blah. They're like, okay, whatever. Thank you. But you guys, I do text them and give them an idea. But Monica never reads your text, for one. But if she does, she don't respond. Okay,
listen, group text.
And Brandy never responds to my phone call. What's that, Monica Rollins?
I said group texts are hostage situations.
But the ones I have, but now if you notice, I just have one of my three lovelies.
You did, Monica, and I responded to that.
Yes, you did. 7 hours later, yeah, you did. Thank you.
Sorry, I was busy in a swimming pool.
I know you were. Well, yeah, it was probably I texted you during your rescue mission, probably. And Brandy says, Brandy, it's only Rob. I'll call him when I want.
I saw the name of the show. I figured what I'd be talking about.
I know. And Brandy, I'm kidding, because I know how your setup is over there.
Well,
and you're busy as hell anyway. So
no, not really. Not really. I got to tell you about my sleep pattern. Let me tell you about my sleep pattern, and maybe you're going to understand why. Because I go to work. I wake up for work at 2:30 in the morning. I go to work. I usually get off between 1 and 1:30. So I work 9.5, 10 hours, right? So then I get home and I make sure I take my nap, because I have shows 6 out of 7 days. So if I get on the shows at night, that will only leave me like 4 hours of sleep the next day. So I got to make sure I take my nap. So if you're calling me while I'm at work or taking my nap, I'm just not going to answer.
No, you're not. Hey, well, listen, I usually, when I want to get a hold of you, I call you typically.
Yes,
and
you
do. Call me, and you typically, because I'm not a fan of the group text. Now, you three, you and with Krista, I got you guys on that. That's fine. But the group text with you, limited people that we have in it.
Yeah.
I don't respond to those. I don't care what you guys say. I don't like them. I don't know why we even have it. It goes off all.
Share info. I appreciate the info.
I like sharing the info, but sometimes the info, Monica, is not needed. If you get my drift.
Well, I have it on mute, so that's why I don't respond. Like text knows, like when text needs me, he texts me.
Right. Directly to you,
Directly, yeah.
Well, that's what I do with Brandy.
You do that with me too.
And Monica with you too. If I just want to talk to you and say, hey, I do. And same with Krista. Well, the rest of the dudes in our group, I care less about. To be honest.
Yeah, Donnie show.
They get on there just talking a whole bunch of
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Donnie and his Church of Dogman and how he's the next emperor of everything or something.
Yeah, yeah. The important, serious girls in the group are the girls. It's you two and Krista. The other guys, take them or leave them. I don't need. I don't need to hear from you. I really don't, and I love them all. But
Right.
partial to girls anyway, so I'll give you guys more attention. So I'm gonna do a story, you guys, and typically I memorize the stories. I don't like reading stories, but if you missed the beginning of the show, I didn't have time to kind of put it to memory. So I'm going to read one, but it's not going to take long. It's not going to take long at all. And frankly, it's from book 1. And I never did this before. And I'm going to read it. It's not going to take but 2 minutes. It's a short story from book 1. And I want you guys' take on this because it's very, it's kind of creepy. Yeah, it's about a cryptid in Louisiana. And I thought Monica would like that because that's her second favorite state next to Texas. And so, and she's doing a birthday party in January over there. I think
and everybody's invited.
17th through the 20th. I know. Yeah. I heard about it.
Oh, yeah, you did more than hear about it.
Okay. Well, again. So, so this is kind of it's from the book 1 book. I can't give out book 2 stuff because you guys got to buy it, right? So, but yeah, so I'm gonna read this because I didn't prepare because of the festivities with the draft, so I apologize in advance for that. But this is the Louisiana monster, okay? And I'm gonna go through this, and this is the first thing that we can kind of shoot the crap on, and see what you guys think.
Okay.
And here we go, everybody. Kick back, relax, shut your eyes, put on your meditation gear. Oh, I'm talking to the people in the audience. I'm telling you, you two need to pay attention.
Okay.
God dang! All right, here we go. Early summer 2001. My brother Steve and I, you can call me Rob. All the stories you get, they always like referring to my name, which is kind of cool. We were hiking in the bayous of Louisiana. I am not going to say the exact location, despite not giving my real name. The folks of this particular location have been spooked for decades, and still, I have been a member of this community. I was 32 years old back then, and I've waited to email you this for months. Now, everybody, you got to realize I got this email like 2 years ago, okay? But anyways, I'm now 53 years old, and this is the first time I've written about this. I have been waiting to find a source to offer my encounter to, Rob, and there are many out there that do this, but I feel you're genuine and you do not discriminate. That is a guy that listens to me. I say that all the time. Thank you, emailer. I appreciate all. Oh God, it's about me. I'm sorry, you guys. I appreciate all you and your group do, and I appreciate you. So anyway, Steve and I took our swamp boat deep into the bayou, looking to do some gator hunting. Our boat back then was very loud and distractive. Because of this, when we were close to our hunting area, we would shut it down and drift for several hours to ensure that our disturbance would not be unfounded. So they're gator hunting, loud boat. When they get their area, they shut it down, they drift. This location for years was deemed taboo, and that many strange hauntings have plagued the area. Many a man has come back shaken and confused with little words at all. And speaking with my friend, old man Jasper, I had told him where we planned to travel. He emphatically urged me not to go to this spot. He implored me, any spot but that particular spot. I was always intrigued by the legend, what the old man would tell, and he got my juices flowing. We reached the spot early around 5:30 a.m. We shut down the motor and drifted, as always, down the swampy waterways for about an hour. Occasionally using a paddle, of course, to keep straight upon our path. The tree line, the vegetation, and the incredibly silent bayou gave me chills. Not a sound could be heard, which was kind of unusual. Typically, you could always hear creatures of the bayou speaking to you. This was very odd. It was a warm day, but you know what? I caught a chill, an unusual chill that you don't get in the swamps. This never happens ever. Again, as I said, Rob, it's always hot, it's always humid. Perspiration would come off of you sitting in the shade. This was different. I was cold, and my sweat from earlier gave me the feeling of an ice cube being rubbed up and down my spine. I looked to my brother Steve, and he was actually shaking from the cold and pleaded with me to turn back. So, everybody, right now, it's you guys, the Bayou, Louisiana, 90 plus degrees, humid. These two guys are freezing in this spot that this guy Jasper told them not to go to. Okay. He now says, "Hey, Ron, something is lurking from the boggy shore, and it feels unnatural." Certainly, with the both of us being cold, this was not, of course, unusual. I decided my brother was right and went to fire up the boat and get the hell out of there because, quite frankly, this was not a place to be in. Upon attempting to start the vessel, it would not turn over, it would not start. From the shore of the swamp, we heard a sinister, almost witch-like laugh, a laugh that seemed to be mocking us. Steve and I felt uneasy and started to panic as the shrilling laughter got louder and appeared to get closer to our craft, which again would not start. I looked to the edge of the swamp and tried to find the source of this haunting laughter when suddenly I saw a figure of what appeared to be a man, but this man had the head of a giant dog or some sort of wolf. The creature was jet black with high pointed ears and a snout much longer than any dog or wolf that I'd ever seen. It then proceeded to walk parallel to the shoreline on two legs, and it appeared to be carrying something. Of what this is, I could not clearly see. The beast then disappeared back deeper into the swamp's edge of the out and went out of sight. I went back to try and start the boat, keeping my eyes on the shore, when suddenly what it appeared to be the dead carcass of an alligator. Oh, I lost my place. I hate when that happens. When the dead carcass of an alligator came flying from the shoreline, landing not less than 3 feet from our boat. The gator's jaws were both snapped backwards, and his bowels were inseminated, or in fact, Rob, what I mean is torn out of the body. I looked back into the woodline, and that laughter started up again. That witching laughter mocking us. Eventually, it dissipated, and everything went silent. Miraculously, I got the boat started, and without haste, I sped back to where I felt safe. Hey, Rob, I don't know what this was, but I tell you, whatever it was, I'll never want to feel it again. What's your thoughts? Sign, well, the guy, his name, blah, blah, blah.
That's creepy.
That's, yeah.
Those are my thoughts.
Yeah, well, that's creepy. So you got these guys bayou fishing, alligator hunting, alligator hunters, right? We all know Louisiana. Well, even if you don't go to Louisiana, it's hot, it's humid, there's all sorts of noise there, all sorts of vermin running around making sounds. They talk to old man Jasper, and Jasper's like, they tell him where they plan doing a new spot to do some alligator hunting. Tells them not to go to that location. It's just not, don't go there. Go anywhere else in the bayou. They're like, yeah, whatever. Blow off old man Jasper's being, telling them not to go. They go anyway. Thing that got me, you guys, is this: 90 degrees, 100 degrees. They get cold. They're sweating ice cubes. You hear the witching laughter from the shoreline, a haunting laughter, unfamiliar to them. Can't all of a sudden the boat don't start,
Mhm.
and then they see that doggish, wolf-like creature from the shoreline. It disappears, and all of a sudden, thrown from the shoreline is a alligator with its literally its jaws ripped, disemboweled, with its guts hanging out of the belly. The laughter starts up. They get the hell out of there. So I guess I
Well,
don't know where to put that. Brandy, you want to jump right in? Go right ahead, buddy.
yeah, I am. I don't know what to do with the laughter and then basically the mutilization of the alligator. That's you know
Is that
you just
wild?
you said the alligator was like mutilated, like it was
Right.
disemboweled and
The jaws were basically boom and
yeah.
disemboweled
Oh,
with that witchy laughter in the background. Then you got the dog man werewolf thing. I
Rougarou.
mean,
the
well,
rougarou. Yeah,
Well,
Because it's
exactly.
thoughtful.
Rougarou.
I mean, it's thoughtful. It knew what it was doing. It's
I
laughing.
mean-
The laughing would get me.
the laughter of the witch sounding laughter
Yeah, but
doesn't
could
make
they
sense.
misinterpreted that of something a sound the rougarou was making? I mean, who knows? I mean, I've never heard one. I mean, it could make
Right.
noises like that sounds like a laugh, or sometimes we hear things in the woods that we can't explain, such as babies crying, or a woman laughing, or something like that. We try to explain it off as a bobcat, or something else making those sounds. But if they specifically said they saw a rougarou, maybe they were making that sound, and they were just thinking it sounded like a laugh. Because to me, when you throw the laugh in, it sounds like we're dealing with also something else
Mhm.
that's in that bayou.
Well, the rougarou is what? That's the Louisiana version of Dogman? Or is that
Well, a
something?
rougarou typically is a person that's cursed, like a werewolf, right? They turn into the rougarou. Yeah.
Mhm.
Which in turn looks kind of like a werewolf.
I mean,
Kinda.
yeah. I mean, rougarou is like the Cajun version of loup-garou, and a loup-garou is an actual werewolf, right? So
Right.
that came over with the trappers, the fur traders from France, and of course, Louisiana was French for quite a while. So,
Yeah, still is French in a lot of
very
places.
French.
Still very French.
So, I mean, of course, I'm sure like the indigenous people on the land had creatures that we would call dogman, right?
Mhm.
So there's a real rougarou, like the rougarou is, and I'm just going one of the routes. There's a lot of branches to it, but is a person that is cursed to turn into this werewolf for, I think it's 7 years, and it was for breaking Lent.
Oh,
Break Lent makes you susceptible to turning into the rougarou.
oh
Really?
my goodness! Because
you
I done
kidding me?
that,
I would be doomed.
I would be doomed also.
I was raised Catholic. I have not practiced any of that in like forever. I'd be doomed. Yes, absolutely. I'm
Yeah.
into both you guys. Yeah.
But then you've got the dog man that I think stays in that form all the time. It's born like that.
Stays like that. That's what it
dies
is.
like that. It's
Mhm.
that way, right?
I guess we've all heard kind of stories kind of similar to that, I guess. But my thing is, I want to ask you guys this: the witchy laughter. Now, I tell you what, I've heard a lot of dogman stories, perhaps even not too many rougarou, which maybe this is, right? But I've never heard, though, the witchy laughter associated, frankly, with really any cryptid, right?
Well, So you consider that hyena barks sound like laughter, right?
Mhm.
Right.
Oh god, yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah. So imagine a person that was cursed, right, to turn into this thing laughing. They're maniacal. Maybe they're just
Right.
jerks to begin with. They killed that gator. They know they're going to be messing with these two guys in a P-row or whatever it was they were in. Launches the alligator at him, thinks that's the funniest thing he's seen in a minute. And he's laughing, but he's transformed. His vocal cords aren't like yours and my vocal cords, and it comes out sounding like hyena laughter, which sounds like that creepy, pickety, witchy laughter, right? That that really high pitched.
See, now you're on this. Now, there you go. Now, there's the explanation of what I was saying. I mean, maybe it was just the Rougarou making that sound, but they were misinterpreting it as a witch's cackle.
Yeah.
And that would turn it into a whole different story if we were dealing with voodoo or witchcraft or whatever we wanted to deal with there, black
Right.
magic, whatever you want to call it. That'd make it a whole different
Sure.
thing with added layers.
We could go the Scooby-Doo route, and there's a swamp witch pulling the strings on the werewolf, and she's back there cackling her little fanny off because she thinks that's funny too.
Right? Right? But you know, in Scooby-Doo, every monster that they come across is a human.
Look what I'm wearing. I'm wearing my Scooby-Doo sweater tonight, by the way.
There you
I got this one on, and it's got ghosts and everything all over, and it says it's my happy place.
My
We're on
Scooby-Doo
we're
one,
on the
like,
same level tonight.
it glows in the dark. I can't wait to wear it. when it
That's
gets really cold. Yeah. Oh, and the back is pretty cool too. It's like, let's see, it's all the eyes, like from.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo.
I love Scooby-Doo.
I do too. I do too.
these two gals are great, right, audience? I mean, you got Brandy over here. She's in her happy place with ghosts. And you got Monica there with creepy eyes on her back. And of course, Scooby-Doo. Because the first ghost I saw kind of looked like the Scooby-Doo ghost.
Did it really?
Yeah, oh, it did. Yeah.
I got my thing too. I've got to redo my background. I got my little glowy potion.
Oh.
Well, you know, I got to tell you, this is my favorite holiday season. October 1st is technically today where I live. It's after midnight.
September.
September, and then we're moving in October. We got one more month to
It's
go.
fall. It's a fall month.
It's a fall month, and I start bringing out my Halloween stuff like now. In fact, I gotta tell you guys something. So for my shows, this just off topic, the month of October, I still have to book guests for September. October's already full for me because I got all Halloween people coming out in October already. They're booked, and I've yet to do September. That's how much I love the holiday. I call it of Halloween.
It is.
You know,
it's Samhain. That's a holiday, right? And then there's November 1st is and 2nd are Dia de los Muertos, right? The 1st is for the babies, and the 2nd is for everybody else. So
we're gonna have a lot of fun. We'll have fun in September, you guys, but October is like, you know, when it comes to YouTube and our shows, once October kicks in, it's like great times. October, November, there's all sorts of craziness that goes on.
My favorite time of year. It just is.
It is. September's okay. People are still unwinding. They got kids in school. You know, it's still hot. And as much as I do like, you know, where I live, I like the summer, but I'm so glad that it's coming to an end. Today was 98, you guys. Come on, really?
It's still technically August today.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. You know, tomorrow is 78 right now at nighttime.
It's going to be in the 90s until like mid-October down here. And I've lived in Texas for over 30 years. And I psych myself out every year because where I grew up, September is when it started cooling down. So I get all excited for September.
Yeah.
And psych, it's hot. It's just hot.
I just, you know, my friends like, hey, Rob, how, you know, I tell my buddy right after 4th of July, well, another 2 weeks, summer's coming to an end. What are you talking about? Summer technically ends September 20th. And I don't know if he made that up. I don't know if that's true or not.
Mhm.
I'm like, dude, I'm ready for football come September. After the
Yeah.
draft and Labor Day weekend, I'm summered out. Boom, let's go. I'm ready for the fall. The leaves change. Wear some sweatpants, throw on a flannel, and chill.
Heck yeah.
That's me. But I got. It's funny though. Reverting back to we're talking about the Rougarou and these shapeshifters and such. Brandy and I did a show Thursday, and I asked her this question, which I don't think she ever heard before. And Monica, I'm going to ask you this because you know how we always talk about, we all have a belief of the werewolf, the dog man, the shapeshifters, and we always talk about how it's really from a human being to what's that word? The physiology of a human being,
Anatomy.
the anatomy. Okay, for a dude to turn into a werewolf,
Oh yeah.
I believe that I believe it could happen, but your cranium expands, your arms, your legs, everything, and all of a sudden you gain 125 pounds. Does it happen? Maybe, but if it did, you're going to be dead. And my theory is maybe you just permanently become a werewolf. That's kind of just a theory. But here's the thing. So me and Brandy were talking Thursday, and I said to Brandy, what if we have it all wrong when it comes to werewolves and these shapeshifters? What if it's actually the werewolf itself that's a predator or a creature of the forest that shapeshifts into a human? Right? So, you're talking about BMR here turning into a werewolf. Well, Rob, okay, fine. You're going to be dead. You ain't coming back to yourself. Okay, I get it. What if the werewolf exists and what if the werewolf shapeshifts into Rob? Right? Because remember, Brandy, we were talking about those other creepy creatures of Alaska.
Right.
How the Kushtaka took the skin, it peeled the skin off of his the person he killed and
to use it as camouflage.
And using it as camouflage.
Mm-hmm.
So before we get into that one, Monica, we'll go back to what if werewolves shapeshifted into humans versus vice versa? So turn the tables.
So it would shrink its form. Its skull would compact. Right. It would lose 125 pounds, let's say.
Most opposite.
So I don't know. I mean, like from a practical standpoint, there's nothing that could, like, whether you're expanding, contracting, like mass is mass. It's not going to appear out of nowhere, right? You can't go from a 150-pound person to a 400-pound thing.
Or vice versa.
Yes, or vice versa. And the shock to the nervous system for anything, like, would be fatal for sure. Now, that's being practical. That's the practical look at
the scientific side.
Yeah. But then we go into the paranormal, right? From the paranormal view, why not? Why not have, I mean, now I'd have a hard time with a person doing that, but something that was created in that form is, maybe it has some paranormal,
supernatural something.
Yeah, some supernatural origin, right?
Right.
And it has the ability to do this. Its nervous system is not designed like anything we would, see terrestrial here.
Right.
So why not? If you're looking at it from that viewpoint.
Yeah, because it's beyond scientific understanding. I mean,
if it's something that
subject is
hopped over from another like dimension or whatever you want to call it, it's something, like I said, its nervous system, its skeletal system is not anything that we would be familiar with. Now, a person who originated here, right, on this plane, no, they didn't know. But something that maybe hopped over, why not?
living in a different realm, dimension, something. I mean, that
Well,
is
I mean,
always
yeah, its anatomy and physiology is, we don't know. It looks a certain way, but we don't know what's going on in there.
exactly. That just reminds me of that thing we were talking about on Rob's show on Thursday. I'm like, wow, that's something else. You want to give a quick overview of that, Rob, or do you want me
Yeah,
to?
yeah, you can. You can. I'm saying hi to everybody that I can. You remember, right?
Yeah,
Brandon?
pretty much. It's just a cryptid from Alaska that they were talking about. That this thing would take its. I don't want to call it prey, its victim or whatever, but it would use its skin. It would actually be in its skin and replicate you to someone else, kind of like what we would say a shapeshifter would be, like
a skinwalker.
exactly, but it would use your skin.
Yeah.
And what it would do is it would lure you into the woods and then do away with you at that point. And then, like I said, if Rob come back into camp, he's standing 50, 100 feet away from me, or I don't have my glasses on or something, and he's like, hey, Brady, come here, doing something like that, I would get up and dumbly follow him.
Well, sure, because you're not thinking anything of it. Sure.
No, absolutely not. And I'd be gone.
Yeah, I think most people would, because you have unless you observe them for a while and they are clearly acting bizarre.
Right. Or if I was like closer because there would be, I'm sure, some type of oddities, things that are just not correct. And with anything. And I told him, I said, it reminds me of that movie where the guy is taking the lotion, putting it into the bucket, throwing it down into the well, and like it puts lotion on its skin.
The lotion on its skin.
Right. That's exactly what I was thinking when he was saying that. I was like, are you kidding me? It's like, we're going to have a Rob skin, But
here's the thing, too. So we would imagine if we were camping, hunting, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And we're staying relatively close together. Maybe Rob wanders off to use the bushes, right?
Okay,
Nobody's going to follow him in there.
Absolutely.
But I would imagine, Rob, if something came up and tried to take your skin off of you, you would create quite a racket. And there would be a fair amount of thrashing. And to flay someone, there would be a crap load of blood.
Well, here's the thing about this. So
you see the picture of it, Monica. It could.
I will show you the picture. Well, this is a aquatic cryptid. It's supposed to be a man and an otter, and he lures you into the water and drowns you and skins you underneath the water.
Gotcha. Okay.
In fact, and yes, and Robin's in here. It's the same cryptid that mimics babies crying in the woods as well.
Yeah.
And since we're on the subject, I was going to show you guys the pictures
because it was a really cool subject.
Yeah, we did this Thursday for everybody. Didn't see the Thursday show. Me and Brandon talked about these 4 cryptids.
The Kushtaka?
The Adlet. Now that's supposed to be a dog.
The Adlet? Yeah, that's way north in Alaska.
Now the Kushtaka is what I'm talking about. It's supposed to be half man, half otter. The guy in the water there, creepy. That's insane. And then the third one is your Sen Rat, which is a little person. But it's not a cryptid. That's not a cryptid. We discovered, Brandon and I just worked through that one. That ain't no cryptid. That's a human being, whether it's a little person or not. I mean, look, the antlers is clearly headgear. It's clearly a mask or paint, right? And then the one on the far right, wherever the hell that is, that's another cryptid from Alaska, the Sindanalzana. And Brandy said it looks like like a cryptid Iceman or something, which kind of does.
No, because I said I am a Game of Thrones fan, and that you can just
hear a White Walker.
Yes, you can hear the words "winter is coming." Can you hear them words right now?
Yeah, I can't.
Well, you're in Alaska, so yeah, winter.
Well, that makes sense, but I mean,
so, yeah. So
still scary.
We put those on Thursday's show, which was a great show. But the Kushtaka was the one that skinned you underneath the water and took your flesh, and it was the baby collar and all this other stuff. And
Yes.
There are
And
quite a few that mimic babies. Quite a few.
I think there are too. And I'll be honest with you. Let me try to get out of here. What am I doing? Hang on. But anyway, continue on. I was going to try to exit out of this. I lost the. Okay, good. So yeah, so there are a lot. You're right. I mean, if you go with the just regular Bigfoot, they've been known to mimic whatever
Mhm.
owl,
Right.
animals. I never heard Bigfoot though mimicking a baby's cry. Right?
No, I've heard that with dogmen. I'm trying to think like
And and you wonder
Owl
how are they
woman.
learning these calls? How are they learning these noises? But like I said earlier about animals, some of the animals that we know of, they sound and can sound like babies crying. So they're probably mimicking that, learning some kind of technique or something that sounds defenseless, like a cub or something that's so small that they're just whining out for the mother, and they're like, well, they're helpless. So maybe if I make that sound, they'll come. Maybe they're learning that if they make that helpless sound, that somebody will come. So I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're astute. They're watching, right? Especially if
Mhm.
they're predatory. So they're going to see over the generations, because I imagine these things have long lives. Mothers shaking their children out while they're doing chores or whatever, and the baby starts crying, and the mother rushes over, and they realize if I make that noise, they'll come rushing over. That's a call of clearly it's a call of distress. I mean, a baby crying's clearly any animal's child crying is, you want to stop it. And so, yeah.
Well, I was going to say, Freaky Geek had said this in chat, and it says, like Chris's cat the other night sounded like it said mom when it wanted attention. So, I mean, it's mimicking what it's hearing.
Sure.
And how everybody says that cryptids find you, you don't find them. I get a lot of that.
I don't know about that.
But I don't know either, Brandy. You know why? Because for these cryptids to mimic human voices, babies crying, and other sounds, they're close by. They're really
curious. They're curious. I mean,
I think they study us more than people may want to believe.
Oh yeah.
Sure. I believe that.
I believe that. And there are some that, they say if it sounds nearby, it's actually far away. And if it sounds far away, it's actually very close. There are some cryptids, and I cannot remember which one it was. I want to say it was the hide behind. I can't remember.
Well, that would be kind of scary.
Right. But
it would give you a false sense of security going, well, that's far away from us.
Like, yeah. To lull you into a false sense of security, because you're not going to be panicked and running at that point. You're easy pickings. You're like,
right.
I mean, maybe you're on guard, but you're not like hustling on out of there.
You're like, well, we better pick up our stuff instead of let's just leave. Okay.
And it's funny, Brandy, because doing that show, and we learned some new things, and today we're learning new things. And it's always amazing how we really just don't know what the hell's out in the forest.
No,
I mean, we don't. When you think you have your handle on something, some other curveball is thrown your way. Which is why I love doing this, by the way, everybody. It's just like you're always on your toes about different things. And again, those 4 cryptids I showed from Alaska, there's actually 10, you guys, but for the show, I just did 4. Amazing stuff goes on in Alaska. And that's another story. I got some ideas moving forward. Brandy gave me some good ideas too for Saturday, which I'm not going to divulge today. But turning back though, Monica, we were talking about Louisiana, the original, the Rougarou, the werewolf. I did want to have you talk a little about fairies and fae and stuff today, just because you know you know quite a bit about it. But one thing that fascinates me, and the only reason I bring this up because we're talking Louisiana, New Orleans. You got that shindig going down. What's your thoughts and beliefs? I tell you, I love vampires. That's my first and favorite thing of all time. Screw Bigfoot, Dogman, vampires to me. That's me. I love vampire movies or stories, right?
Sure.
I don't know, Bram Stoker, you know, that was kind of, I thought that was a boring ass book. I never finished it. Hell, I tried to listen to it on Audiovox. It's just so boring.
I mean, we'll consider the age it was written in. It's not.
Yeah, I mean, it's just someone's diary, basically, you know, and anyway, beside the point. Do you believe in vampires originated? I won't say originated because we all think they're from Romania, Transylvania, blah, blah, blah. But isn't it true, though, if you go back into folklore and legend, that New Orleans is really the birthplace of the American vampire? Or maybe not the American, but transferred over? Because if they've lived for centuries.
I don't think it's where it transferred over, but I think it helped populate. You know, it helped for sure. Because, I mean, let's consider there were ports across, like, all over the eastern seaboard, well, specifically the Northeast, right? So we've got immigrants coming in, Pennsylvania.
It was a melting pot. It was a melting pot. It was easy for people just to blend.
Yeah, there's no Ellis Island. You just show up.
Yeah.
And I don't think that because of that, I really feel strongly that New Orleans wasn't the birthplace, but it definitely helped populate the country with vampires for sure. And I 100% believe there are vampires. Like I 100% believe in vampires. I don't think it's what a lot of people think it is.
It's not the TV and book version.
No, it's not. They don't sparkle in the sunlight. They don't. How do I? They're not attractive. They're not attractive.
No.
They're not at all.
They're not
you're not rolled. You're not enchanted.
They're not romantic. They're romanticized today in a lot of.
You think they fall into the Nosferatu type of vision when you're looking at them?
No, I think that they appear human. I don't think it's the Nosferatu little, thing. But I think they can appear human, but I think that they throw off the energy, then you are catching it. So look into the Highgate vampire.
Okay.
That was legit. I believe 100% that was legit. The Highgate vampire. It was back in, I want to say, the 60s in London.
All right. I'm writing that down right now so I remember.
I was this is not my story, and I heard this from a guy who was I believe this guy, okay? He's a guy that I talk to all the time. I'm not going to say who it is because it's not my place to say who this person is. He's been on the show several times. In fact, he'll be on for Halloween, and we'll probably talking about this. And we're talking off air, on the phone, whatever, on StreamYard, whatever it was. In New Orleans, he said, Rob, I came across what I do believe was a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay. He goes, it was dusky dawn. It was a young lady. And he was out, again, New Orleans, Bourbon Street, I guess. Is that Bourbon Street, right?
Yeah, Bourbon Street's a big one.
And he's on the corner, and he's just hanging out. And this man I'm talking to investigates ghosts, paranormal. I mean, he's been 60 years investigating all this stuff. But not everyone knows him. I'm not going to say his name. It's not my story to say. He can say it, right? Mm-hmm. But came across this lady, a woman, young lady, 20s, maybe no more than 30, came up to him, ghostly, palely, dressed not like you and I would dress today, but dressed back in like the
Period
19
clothing.
yeah, the
Yeah.
period clothing. And she appears first of all out of like kind of nowhere. And they're chatting, and he found her very intriguing, but he knew there was something up with this person because of all of his experiences delving in the paranormal. But he's very intrigued into this conversation. They're talking about way back when, and he's asking, "How do you know so much history about 1830?" Let's just say.
Mhm.
Well, I'm from 1830, and he's like, "Okay, right." You're acting, you're playing the part. But then he shook her hand. Her hand was icy cold,
Okay.
and a pale skin, dressed. And he says, she goes, "Well, perhaps we'll meet again one day." And he says, "Okay." He says, "What's your name, by the way? You staying anywhere around?" She goes, "No, I'm going back to sleep. I stay close by." And he says, "Well, can I ask your name?" And she very easily, candidly says, "My name is Kate Smith." I don't know what the name was. I'm just throwing that
Right.
out there, right? He goes, "Okay." He goes, "Yeah." She goes, "You can find me over in the cemetery where I hang out." Now he's really intrigued, right? Girl, talking history, 1800s,
Very
dressed like
unsafe place to be in New Orleans.
very unsafe place. She hangs out in the cemetery. It's where you can find me. I hang out in the cemetery. Kate, again, just Kate Smith. Let's say 1830s.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, the friend of mine, who's a friend of mine, I've known him for 10 years, is into this stuff. And he goes and he says, out of chance, he goes, "You know what, man?" I asked what cemetery. Told him the cemetery she hangs out at. So, of course, him being creepy like all of us and into the paranormal, all this weird stuff, goes to the cemetery. And he's kind of pillaging through the cemetery, kind of looking at the headstones and looking at the creepy mausoleums and all the gargoyle statues and everything else dispersed. Comes across this headstone. He has to take a double look. The headstone read Kate Smith, 1830 to 1852. Okay. Now that's not her name. Everybody listening, I said to say a name for the story purposes. Kate Smith tells her that's the name.
Mm-hmm.
Hangs out the cemetery, investigates New Orleans, 1800s, 1830 period. Sees her name on a headstone, 1830, 1852. He goes, "Rob, I got to tell you, I believe I saw a vampire that night."
Or he saw a really
Or
creepy
very
girl that
intelligent.
likes to hang out in the cemetery.
Or a very smart, imaginative young lady, right? But who the hell is going to... Okay, if she tells me that story, same girl, same story, same corner of Bourbon Street, I know me personally, unless I'm with Brandy or Krista or you, Monica, then I ain't going to the cemetery by myself. This guy goes there and happenstance. Not like he had no idea to look for her headstone. He was just walking through, doing his weird stuff, happens to see it. You tell that story to 1,000 people. Out of 1,000 people, how many people go to the cemetery? I don't think too many. We will. Yeah, okay, us three probably won. We're the weird. We embrace the weird. We dig it. I like the cemetery. You find creepy stuff there. People in chat might go as well. People listening might go as well. But just to, out of chance, tell some stranger the story, and he just so happens to go there. I don't know. I don't believe in coincidences. Like I said, I think coincidences happen. I think there was a reason behind him meeting her, though. I can say that, right?
Sure. And I mean, he's going to know better than me sitting here listening to the story, right? Secondhand from Rob. Yeah. I didn't hear him telling it. I wasn't there when it took place.
Yeah.
If he got the creepies from her, maybe she was. Or again, like I said, maybe she was just a creepy girl who hangs out in cemeteries and happened to see the name and thought, I'm going to
listen,
this
that's
dude.
what I'm thinking that too. But
Yeah.
here's the thing: it's like, if you really want to pull that prank, you only thousands of people you have to tell this story to, and hope that one takes you up on going to a cemetery.
Well, I mean, was he in the town the cemetery is located in? And
So
he does
she told me
paranormal
he's a paranormal
investigation?
guy. Yeah, I mean, if she was not a vampire, right? Which who knows
Right.
what she was. She certainly asked him the right questions, and he said, yeah, he was into the paranormal, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. So maybe, she threw out enough clues to intrigue him and inspire him to
Well,
maybe
she also
check out
told him, I hang out in this cemetery.
He's out of the cemetery. Yeah.
You know when a guy's digging you, you'd be like, yeah, I hang out over here. Maybe
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You know he's going to end up in that cemetery.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But then again, this guy is like in his 70s and she was like in her 20s. I mean,
oh, okay, just reel him in. I mean, that's easy.
Well, we all know there's a lot of people in New Orleans that they give that persona just to freak people out for the shock value.
Yeah, well, that's true too.
Do that.
Hey, listen, you guys, that's true. That's absolutely, I agree. I'm not saying, oh my God, he saw a vampire, and I'm not.
No, I know.
However, it was just, I tell you what, this lady, this girl did a good job, though. I tell you what, if she's a normal Joe, she sold it really well.
Yeah.
Set him up.
I mean, maybe she was. Hell, I don't know, but
what I'm going back to the point is I think vampires exist, but not, I don't think they're the undead. Or are they?
I don't know about undead. I think that they are difficult to kill. I think they have a very long lifespan. And I'm talking like sanguinarians, right? Like real blood drinking, like descendants of Lilith kind of vampires, right? I think that is rare, but I think that exists. I think what you see hopping around 99% of the time are people posing, right? They want to be, oh, I'm a sanguinary. Oh, I have to have blood. Oh, I have to ingest so much blood to function, right? Because I've heard that from a lot of people, which is sure, dude. If you're truly a vampire, this little quarter of a thimble is not going to be enough.
Right.
But also, I do believe that in energy vampires, I think that is the prevalent type of vampiric thing going on. And I think people can be energy vampires. And I think a lot of energy vampires don't realize they are energy vampires.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Oh my God. Monica, Brandy's heard this. I'll tell you. Energy vampire, again, I always say this guy, the best friend of mine that I hate, can't stand, despise him. I've known him since 7th grade. Total energy vampire. And I'm not saying he is on purpose. Every time I talk to this guy, he sucks the energy out of me. Because every time he talks to me, people suck. People don't know how to drive. Every word out of his mouth is negative Nelly.
He's a Colin Robinson.
He's negative Nelly, and I wanted to put a bullet in my brain sometimes. Seriously. Yeah, energy vampire, this guy. Because when I'm done talking to him, I'm drained. I gotta take a nap.
Yeah.
I'm depressed. That's an energy vampire right there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've run across him many, many, many times in my life. More times than I want to even say I did.
I think there are people that know it and utilize it. There are people that know it and there are people that utilize it. But there are people that are just draining you dry and maybe they don't know.
There are people that are oblivious of it, but there also are people that use it because they want something and they know how to use that that energy draining of people, right? There's always somebody that comes up with something to get one over on you or get something from you. That's how life works. So, and I get it, and I'm cool with that. But people manipulate anything they can get and have the upper hand or an advantage.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
that's really life, man. That's just life in general. Who cares about cryptids, paranormal, anything else? That's life in general.
Right.
Business world, whatever, dating, farming, trying to buy a car.
Trying to buy a car.
Trying to buy a car, Brandy, they'll sell you what you don't need, right? They want to make that extra commission.
That's
Brandy, you want to buy a compact economy car, and the guy's trying to put you in a Dodge Durango or a Ford Mustang, and all you want is a basic compact car, right? That's salesmanship, and that's free enterprise. I get it. I respect it. I'm part of that, but it is what it is.
Okay, Colin Robinson.
Thanks everybody for coming in chat tonight. Yes, thank you. Yeah. Thanks everybody for coming on in. So Monica.
Yeah.
I want to touch briefly before we go tonight, because I'm very interested, and I've never heard your take. I've seen a couple of your shows and you talk about it. The Fays, the Fays, fairies, and okay, evil. Are they everything? Are they just the good, bad, evil in between? We're talking about the Fae, the elementals, and we're talking about what's the other little the Jinn? What's the difference between the Jinn? In your experience, your stories, whatever you can come up with, are they really prevalent in the woods, or are they around us? No.
Well, I mean, if you go deep into the origins of the Jinn, they are all around us. Okay, so they are all around us. So with that being said, yeah, I mean, they would be, I'm sure, in the forest, but I mean, these stories originated in decidedly unforested areas. So when I think of Jinn, I don't typically think forests, but to be fair, they're around us at all times. So yeah, they're certainly there. It's just, I think of the origins of it and where that folklore is predominant, not super forested.
And I'm gonna sound like a dummy, probably on purpose, just for the audience. But the Jinn isn't a genie out of a genie bottle, is it?
No. A Jinn is a spiritual being that, I mean, some people would call them demons, but they have personalities very much like humans. Like some of them are kind, some of them are mean and evil, some of them are neutral, just like Faye. They were here before the world was formed. They're old. And I mean, of course you hear the genie in the bottle. I mean, that was a story, from, I think, Arabian Nights. Am I wrong? Yeah. I think that's where it originated from. But no, I mean, yes and no. That was a Jinn, but that's not like the typical Jinn. And if you happen to unleash one and they tell you that they'll give you wishes, you better be so blessedly specific with what you are asking for.
Right.
So specific. Think Wishmaster.
Kind of where I was getting at. I was being kind of funny with the genie in the bottle thing, but that's so yes, you have to be very specific if you come across this.
You talk about loophole finding, yeah. the fake got
better off. Just don't take the wishes, everybody. Just don't
do it.
Don't do it. Mm-mm.
Smokeless flame is Ifrit, right? The Ifrit are the fire spirits. So it's a type of Jinn.
Oh. That just brings me back. Don't take the wishes.
So I implore you, like, if you're interested in all of this folklore, watch or read even. Chimney Cricket. I just had it on the tip of my tongue. It's American Gods.
You know what? You've said that so many times.
It covers pantheons around the world. And it just kind of touches on each one to get you interested. And if you want to go down that rabbit hole, it does the Egyptian gods, like Anubis is in there. And Mr. Jackal. Yeah, I mean, he's one of the Egyptian gods. It touches on the spider god out of Africa. He's in there. Asanzi. I always thought I thought his name, because I was just skimming over it, I thought it was Anasazi, but it's Asanzi, something like that. It's been a minute since I've read it. Yeah. But it goes into like literally all around the world, all of these different gods and old gods, old gods and new ones. So it's really interesting because they talk about what you put your energy into is what manifests, and all of these gods still exist because there are people still worshiping them, and the very powerful gods are the ones that still have a large following or a large cult, whereas the weak gods and the ones that are exiting and the ones that are able to be conquered are the ones whose followers and worshipers are fading. And there's gods that have died because they don't have anybody anymore to worship them, and that's how they feed. And media is a god, technology is a god, and very powerful ones too in this story. So I mean, it's very interesting. It's an interesting take on everything, but it does touch very, very much on all kinds of mythology and folklore around the world. So
you know, this is all fascinating to me, Brandy, as well, I can tell, but I can't believe, because I wanted to talk about this for like ad nauseum a little bit today, and I can't believe the time. We got like 9 minutes left, hour and a half show, and we didn't even touched on it. We just fantastic show, but like, man, so we'll have to talk, we'll have to revisit all this stuff. But so to fill the time up, I gotta ask your opinion on this. I'm not gonna go into the story. And I wonder, because me and Brandy wondered, because I told a story that I was talking to this guy about. You heard about the story, Monica? Brandy heard it Thursday. About the guy who got lost in the woods and didn't know where he was, unfamiliar grounds, 10 years, same place. To make a long story short, he went down this new trail that kind of appeared out of nowhere type thing. And he went down this trail, and then all of a sudden the environment totally changed. If there was oak and cypress trees there, they turned to birch and redwoods. You know, it was just totally, the terrain was different. And then the river that is running beside him, that he's known for 10 years, disappears. So I'm thinking, man, this guy went through a portal, a different realm. What happened to this guy? And so, he got lost. He sits on this log, and he knows he's lost. He's kind of panicking. Then all of a sudden, and this is why I asked you about the elementals, because there was like a Bigfoot shadow associated, but I'm going to skip that out. I'm going to edit this for the show. But he found these faces started appearing out of tree stumps. At the base of tree stumps, these faces, weird faces, not monsters, but weird, not quite human, kind of human, probably animal-like faces started appearing, and something in his mind told him to follow the faces, despite being scared. So this man follows along, and these faces will appear up every 10, 20 feet on different trees from his surroundings. Again, he's in a different environment, don't know where he's at, like Alice in Wonderland type thing, right? And then he feels like he's being guided somewhere to safety or out of where he's at. Then before you know it, he heard the river in the background that he's familiar with, which dissipated, which left when he went down that trail. And then all of a sudden, the faces started to kind of they weren't as prevalent, but now he's getting in more familiar grounds. And before you know it, the faces led him back out of wherever the hell he was to his familiar place at his campground. So in other words, synopsis, Guy gets lost. Don't know where he's at. 10 years in the forest. Where am I? This is weird. Faces in the trees appear, kind of guide him out. So my question to you is, elemental, is that like what elementals? Is it a part of the elemental or what? These
I would call that a
from the
Fae
tree.
trap.
What was that?
I said I would call that a Fae trap.
Oh, see, that's what I thought about so this is part of the Fae then.
Yeah, I would call it that. You're right.
Yeah,
He sees a new
I gotta learn more about the Fae because I thought it was like an elemental.
Elemental is like a spirit itself. It's not really a place. So I think that he noted like Fae trap. It's a Fae trap. They make something look enticing or somewhere you want to go, like, you know, a trail. He's like, oh, that's new. Let me check that out or whatever. Right. He veers off like 2 feet and boom, in a different place because he went through, you could call it a portal. It's a Fae trap, took him somewhere else.
Okay.
And he was guided out. Trust me, he didn't find his way out. He was guided.
No,
out.
I fear these faces did guide him out, helping him.
So
they kind of helped. I mean, they weren't evil. They helped the dude.
Right.
What he got into, I don't know. What
he got into, I think he got led into Fae. He got it. I mean, that's what they call the realm too. So he got led into like an alternate universe kind of thing, like alternate thing. Like he was here, but he wasn't here. Right. He went into a Fae realm. You see what I'm saying? Like, and then they guided him back out of it, or something guided him back out. Cause I mean, that's what it seems like to me. You're walking along somewhere, or you're just wandering around somewhere very familiar to you. You go through an archway in the trees. You don't think anything of it, right? Looks like the forest beyond looks like the same forest you were in just now. Why not just go there? And it's a big trap.
I like that summation.
That's what I think.
I gotta learn more about that stuff because it's very fascinating. I mean, it's like, again, just another rabbit hole, right, Brando?
Well, yeah. I mean, I told you that when you get into the Fae, it's vast. That subject is big. Big.
Speaking about big shows, this was a pretty big show. You girls, thank you for helping me out today after my 12 hours of libations and drafting, and I think I pulled it off pretty good. I think I did all right.
Get your draft picks?
Yes, my first 6 players are studs. I have no depth, Monica. My team, I'll put my team up against anybody, but as you well know, 17 games in the season. If I lose one player,
that's the worst.
I'll be looking forward to next year.
Still have fun playing, but the injuries, I want to be like, wrap your ankle.
This draft this year was weird because we also made trades throughout the season, like throughout the year. There was a lot of guys that had more than one. Thank you, Two Shadows. Thank you so much. I love you, buddy. We made trades. So like 3 guys all had 2 first-round draft picks. So it kind of diluted the talent pool in the beginning. So I got the best players I could, but my depth is for crap. So, But more importantly, 31 years, 12 buddies, great times. And I'm surprised that I made it down the show tonight.
Proud of you.
I too. I was prepared.
Yeah, I was prepared too.
Yeah, I know you guys were. I even gave you guys, hey, girls, don't know. I've never been home before midnight on a draft in 31 years. But I did my due diligence. I was responsible. But, I love looking at your 2 pretty faces every Saturday night, too, though.
Oh, thank you.
It's better than looking at 12 guys' ugly faces, right?
Yeah, you get tired of them after a while. It's
yeah. I was sick of them by 3 in the afternoon, to be frank. This is a great show. Thank you, Two Shadows, for the awesome super chat. My new books out. Buy the books, Amazon, BMR, Bigfoot Mr. Rob on Amazon, the browser. Subscribe to the Blondes and the Booze Paranormal Podcast. If you're new here, please check them out and subscribe. Monica Rollins, Our Paranormal World. Subscribe to Monica. I think, Monica, you got over 400 subs now. Good for you.
I do. I'm getting so close to being able to monetize.
Yeah, well, 100
Which means
away.
I have to watch my mouth.
See, when I started, you had to have 1,000. I think it's 500 now.
Yeah, it starts at 500. You know what? It starts at 500 and then X amount of hours watched.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, but I'm like almost there.
Oh, are you okay?
Then, yeah. And then the next like goal post is like 5 million like hours or something. Like it's some ridiculous jump. I'm
there's
like, it's gonna
there's
be
3 of them. I know there's 3 subs and watch hours. I don't know what the third is. Likes or something. Oh, by the way, thank you. Alert bell, everybody. I don't put out our schedules no more. Subscribe to all our channels. We're on 7 days a week for the most part. Alert bell, hit all.
Mhm.
Do it because you won't miss the show. Also, like this show. And you know what? Another thing I must ask you guys, start leaving comments. Rob, you blow. Rob, that was great. The girls, carry you. Whatever you want to say, leave a comment because, again, it's all analytics, you guys.
It helps. It helps.
Mhm.
Even a little thumbs up.
Right on. Thanks, everybody, for coming in. Brandy, Monica, always a pleasure. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I didn't miss tonight.
We are.
There
too.
you go.
Yeah, there we go. And it's Sunday. Well, who knows? I don't know. Next week's next week. I'm not going that far. I'm surprised I got this far.
We're entering the month of International Talk Like a Pirate Day on the 19th too.
Oh, good. You got to remind me, man. Everybody becomes a pirate.
For that.
We'll do a special pirate show. Become a member. That's right.
It'll be a membership drive on International Talk Like
Let's
a Pirate
do that.
Day.
Let's do that. We'll make sure. If it's not even on one of my shows, we'll have to make a special show for that, I think.
You'll have to pop in on somebody's show. We're
You
on.
can come in on my
Sunday.
show because it's the 19th. I think that's a Thursday.
Yeah, we can do it
Hey,
on Monica's
Kristen.
show. We can do it on Blonde's.
I
You
got
can do it
Thursday
anywhere you want
afternoon.
to.
Oh, that's my anniversary too.
Yeah.
You can just
And of
take over
course-
my show.
And of course, we're gonna have to put plans together. Don't know whose show, who cares what show we do it on, but this year we might have to do a couple of them. As we all love Halloween. We gotta do a couple mega Halloween shows.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. My Halloween guests already booked for October. I got more people coming on in October than September already. I got all cool Halloween people coming on in October. But we should, as a group, do something special for everybody because I love Halloween.
We got to dress up and do like tell a spooky story. Everybody takes a turn in costume kind of show.
Yeah, no, hey, I'm down with that. I can do something like that. I'm not shy. I'll dress up like a pirate.
Dress up like your story.
Dress
Oh,
like your story. Ooh,
Brandy,
that's a good one. That's a good
take
one.
on the character of the story.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna be Ronnie DeFeo.
Gonna wear a green flak jacket and
Yeah, I'm
bell bottom jeans and sit at the bar. You have to grow them up.
I'm kidding. I by the way, everybody, if you guys didn't see, was that on your show, Brandy?
Yes. Yeah,
Donnie's
it was
show,
on the,
bro. I gotta say, everybody, we all have good shows. I love all our shows, but I gotta tell you, that show, man, I gotta get that book. I got 50 books there I haven't opened yet. They're all new, right? That's the way I roll. That was a great show. Go check out that show, you guys, if you're into true crime, Amityville Horror.
Mm.
They broke that down. Donnie did a fabulous job with that, and I gotta tell you, I've watched it twice. And I don't do that too often.
Right. It's on Wednesday nights. It's the Paranormal Show and Tell. It's a great show. We just started, so it was this last Wednesday's episode. So go back and give it a watch because I'm telling you what, it was eye opening for sure, wasn't it?
Oh man, I loved it. I mean, I did, and I read the Amityville Horror in sixth grade. Yeah, I did, and fabulous. But now it makes me wonder Was I reading up a fiction?
I don't know. I don't know what's the truth or what's a lie anymore in the whole story.
That part of what you guys did was kind of, oh, really? I thought, God, really?
Mhm.
But I will say this paranormal was involved. I think the girl was possessed by something. I forgot her name.
Dawn.
Dawn, yes.
Dawn. Yeah, and I do too. I think she was possessed because after Ron Jr. had said that she killed the rest of the family or whatever, that she just went up to her room and acted like everything was.
Yeah, hunky dory.
Yeah, but if you watch the story or listen to what's going on, she is the one that was creating this whole process, this whole chaos. She, except for what the father was saying, she set everything into motion according to Ron. If that story's true, because we know he said about 6 or 7 different stories out there over the years. So what is the real truth? Nobody'll ever know.
Yeah, I had to bring it up because I really love this show. So subscribe to the Blonde, subscribe to Monica, subscribe to Robin, text. I see my buddy Dookie out there, Duke Sullivan, World Bigfoot Central. Thanks for everybody for coming. And Donnie Cho says stuff as well. Paranormal Paul as well.
Oh, yeah. But before I forget, Paranormal Show and Tell is on the Blonde. So,
yes. The Blondes and Booze have 3 shows during the week.
Yes.
Like I have 3 during the week. Monica's got 1. Tex has 3. Tex has 3, 4 now. Oh, Tex on Wednesday morning now, I found out.
Yep.
Yeah.
He wakes up weird.
That's
well, I woke up to that. I'm like, oh my God, really? No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to be on Waking Up Weird Wednesday. We're talking football, though, so which I'm down with that.
There you go.
Which ain't that weird. I'll be drinking my coffee, bitching about my draft. Anyway. Love you guys. Love everybody for coming on in. Thank you for 2 Shadows for the awesome super chat. Until next time, I'm BMR for Monica, for Brandy. Subscribe, like, share, leave a comment, turn on the alert bells. BMR for the girls. We're out.